Brian Shannon from Alpha Trends Blogspot. It is Sunday, October 15th, 2006. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at some stocks that we can hopefully make some money with this coming week. We've got chart of AVI Biopharma up here on the screen right now, symbol AVII. And I'd mentioned this one late last week just as a small speculative stock to watch. But I think the stock looks good enough to say, to call it an official buy. And it trades 500,000 shares a day. The stock has had its volatility. You can see here that this weekly chart had a phenomenal rally last year. And, these stocks that can rally like this, they show the ability to rally, very quickly and like that in large moves, have the ability to do it again is the way I look at these stocks. And I think a lot of people remember these and say, hey, let's get back into it again. You can see it had another real nice rally just 2 months ago. Anyways, the stock right now, it trades about 500,000 shares a day. It's traded a nice tight consolidation here for the last week or so. And when we look at a 10-minute time frame, you can see that it looks low enough risk that I think it warrants consideration. Now, as far as how many shares you buy, again, it's not the most liquid stock. It does trade 500,000 shares a day, but if there's a problem, liquidity is going to dry up quickly. So remember that. But the recent resistance has been right here at this level. This level here is 385. It hasn't been above that 385 here the last few sessions. So I think if it gets above 385, you want to buy this stock at 386, 387, and put your stop at $3.76 would be just below Friday's lows. So you're risking about 9 or 10 cents. And I think the upside is about 4.5. I think you can get back to about 445 right around in this area, these prior highs over here. So that'd be risking about a dime to make about 60 cents, and AVII is the symbol there. DVAX is a stock that broke out probably on some kind of news, I would imagine, last week. Stocks don't just wake up out of a coma like this without some kind of news. So you can see the stock had a massive rally, on big volume. The volume has dried up as the stock's pulled back to its rising 10-day moving average. And when we look at the weekly time frame, you can see a nice pattern here. And on the monthly time frame, looks like maybe you could get up towards that 9.5 level. Our target isn't going to be quite that aggressive. We're just going to look for a retest of the 8 level. And in order to buy this stock, what I want to see it do is get above these recent highs here. These recent highs are $6.95. So if I draw just a horizontal line across there at that 695 level, you can see that it might be even making a little inverted head and shoulders pattern in here on it over the last 3 days. First it made this lower low, now it's making a higher low, and it's chipping away at the resistance right here at 695. So I'm thinking about buying this stock above 695. I'd probably put my stop underneath Friday afternoon's low right here in the conjunction of those moving averages. That would be a stop near about $6.77. And I'm just looking for a retest of about this $8 level. I think first it's probably going to have a little bit of trouble up near this prior level, about 720, but ultimately I think it makes it towards $8 a share. So we'd be risking, in this case, theoretically about 28 cents to look for about $1.05 of upside. The next stock I'm going to bring up, I'm not going to give a specific recommendation because I think the stock is just a little bit too wild to really stick your neck out there and say, here's where to buy and where to sell. And the stock is Google. You probably figured that out when you saw the price at 427. But Google, broke that symmetrical triangle, and that it's been forming on the weekly time frame. That the upper down sloping trend line did act as support over here. The stock broke out on big volume here the last couple weeks, and now it's consolidated on light volume in a real tight range. When we look at the weekly time frame, looking at this again, I think the stock has the potential, taking the height of this triangle and adding it to the breakout point, to trade up near about $500 a share for Google. And on the 10-minute time frame, you can see 430 has been an area of problem for it over the last 3 or 4 days. So somewhere on strength, I think you want to buy this stock. I'm not going to give a specific recommendation, but Google is a wild stock. You have to have probably a 3-point stop in it. So adjust your share size accordingly to the the amount of risk you're willing to take in the stock. At the end, I'm going to bring up 3 more little stocks that I think can continue higher, so stick around for those. CHRW, this is C.H. Robinson Worldwide. the stock has been trading in a fairly tight range, and the sellers seem to be getting more aggressive with these lower highs, and it just keeps coming down to the support level. The more time support is tested, the more likely it is to fail, and those tests are becoming more frequent. That tells me the sellers are getting more aggressive price-wise with these lower highs and more aggressive time-wise because they're starting to really hammer away at that support. Now, I'm not going to give a specific recommendation on this stock either as far as a short sale, but looking at this weekly time frame, the stock looks like it's perched on the edge of a cliff here, and I think maybe puts would be a play in here. I don't know. It's one of those stocks that right now I think your stop probably goes, maybe 10 cents above that 5-day moving average, so $43.80 or so. But the stock looks verged to break down hard. I'm not good at coming up with good stops on these $40 stocks. We saw that on Friday with Celgene, which I think still looks great, by the way. Celgene really, maybe I was early on my purchase. Maybe it's got to get above this level here, maybe 46.30, 35 or so. But Celgene still looks good. I went off on a tangent there, but CHRW is the symbol, and that looks like a good short sale candidate, as does Conor Medsystems, CONR. We'd looked at this stock before. It had this rally over here. I think this rally's looking like it's just about ready to fail on CONR. And, if it fails, it could fail pretty good. Our target's just going to be right down towards this $23.50 level, though. And I think what we want to look for is a rally, just a 10-cent rally. I'm going to say a rally up to $24.90 and then sell it as it breaks back down below Friday's close of $24.80. Your stop in CONR could go at about $25.15. So that'd be a theoretical risk of about 35 cents. And our target down here would be about $1.40 away. So would you risk 35 cents to make $1.40 is the risk-reward bet in this case. And Marvell, MRVL, Marvell Technology, had some kind of problem over here. It's rallied up on diminishing volume now. It looks like the sellers are back. And here's how I'd like to play this stock. What I'm considering doing in my account is taking a position under $17.20. Not below Friday's low, but below $17.20. Put my stop just up above 17.5, and I would target at about 16.25 for the downside. So a risk of about 30 cents to make about $1.25 if things go correctly. Now the thinly traded stocks. We've got a position in STEM, and I like the way this stock looks. Look at my post earlier in the week for some political commentary on that. But if StemCell really can get above about 240, I think that's where it really gets the upside momentum. Another stem cell company, Geron, had a nice day on Friday, GERN. Now I think that another small one, ASTM. The daily chart doesn't look that great. You can see the stock has clearly had a lot of trouble here over the last year or so. But on the 10-minute time frame, it looks like maybe it's starting to perk up a little bit. So I would say keep your eye on ASTM, especially if STEM really starts to get going. Other people are going to see, other players are going to look for other stem cell companies, and this is going to be a good go-to stock. SIGA, SIGA, continue to like this one above $1.90. And TSEM, I had mentioned earlier last week saying it looked like it needed to get above $2 a share. I'm going to say we could buy this stock above $1.95 right now.